Knight Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. Michael Knight, a young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in the world of criminals who operate above the law.
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Night, brought to you by the GCRN and Audible.com. I am one of your hosts, Steve, Joe, and Mike, and joining me is Dion the Music Man. Hello.
Hey, what is going on? We are in for another classic review of more TKR episodes.
What? Are you What the hell? You definitely are on drugs. Did you just say TKR? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I was actually seeing if you were quite awake.
Yeah, we don't get to.
I know that. I understand that.
We don't get to Team Knight Rider.
I was actually seeing if you were awake.
Of course I'm awake. It's the middle of the afternoon. What the hell? We won't get to Team Knight Rider until episode 35 of the podcast. Well, no, I'm not just telling you. I'm telling the listeners. Team Knight Rider, the living hell, the nightmare of the 90s won't happen until episode 35 of the podcast.
Yeah, that's.
Since I have this,
drop the T and leave the KR. But if any one of you that are intelligent and listening,
oh thank God, that's only going to take 35 to 41. That's going to be, if my math is correct, because I hate math.
Oh, 6, 7.
Oh thank God, Team
7 episodes.
6. Team Knight Rider will only take us 6 Well, it's technically 7 because of the recap.
Right.
But yeah, so 7 episodes. That's not that bad,
no.
I guess. So anyways, we are here in episode 17, and we are starting season 3.
Yay!
Yay!
To a
season
point.
3. Oh boy. Well, I'll say so far that it's been very interesting to say the least. So here's the turbo boost kit, and let's get this car rolling.
Michael, you don't believe this nonsense about a robot, do you?
Devin, after seeing the way that car handled by itself, I'm afraid I do.
Any ideas?
Only one.
What?
Too bad Bonnie's not around.
Didn't I tell you?
What?
She is. She's taking advanced studies at the university here.
No kidding. Did you talk to her?
Yes. And if you're wondering why I haven't asked her to return to the Foundation, I have. Her answer was no. A very polite but firm no.
Devin, who is this C.J. Jackson? What does he have to do with the heart and soul of the Foundation?
Michael, before Wilton Knight discovered you, we had another man in your position. His name was Ken Franklin. He had all the qualifications. Well, all except one. He wasn't a police officer. One night, several years ago, I remember it was raining, most unusual for the time of year. Franklin had been tailing Jackson. He was convinced that Jackson hadn't made him. But he was wrong.
Jackson killed him?
One bullet did it. But Jackson shot him 5 more times. We all took the tragic loss very hard, but no one harder than Wilton Knight. He closed the Foundation, put the entire flag project on hold, and didn't reactivate it until we found you. Jackson belongs in jail, Michael. Wilton Knight will not rest easily until he's back behind bars. Nor will I.
All right, Devin, that makes 3 of us. This one's for Wilton, huh?
Good luck, Michael.
Thanks, Devin.
So to start off Season 3 of Knight Rider, we have the Night of the Drones two-parter. A scientist, played by Jared Martin, plans to use robots and drone cars to round up criminals to rob a Federal Reserve. Well, that's the plot on the surface. The actual plot is the dumb scientist. Oh, I didn't get my recognition. I want my thing back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Uh-huh.
Um. Yeah, it's funny. I was doing research for this episode because I wanted to see if there was still stuff around for it, but I looked up the Barbarian Brothers, Clifton and Turk. I know those are their character names. I don't think those are their real names in real life. But I looked them up the other day, and I couldn't find anything on them.
Really?
The Barbarian Twins. Let's see. Let's see. Barbarian Twins. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Unreality. We remember the Barbarian Brothers. Let me see here. Let's see what this is. I'm sorry to hold the podcast up here, but I still wanted to look this up and see if there's anything on them to even see if they're even still alive.
That's all we did. We did see them in Night of the Drones, and that was kind of the last. They kind of disappeared after that.
In 1994, they had some dumb movie called Twin Sitters and haven't done anything of significance since 2005, where they starred in Sold Out with none other than Gary Busey. Let's see. Oh, wow, they're 53 now.
Oh, wow.
Huh. Of course, that was... So they'd actually be 56 now.
Yeah.
This article that I'm looking at was published March 26, 2010, so they're 56 now. Oof.
Gee.
One of them looks like Steven Tyler without the collagen injections.
That's mean. But funny.
I'll have to send you the link later. But no, Night of the Drones, the season 3 premiere. It obviously stars David Hasselhoff as Michael Knight and Edward Mulhare as Devin Miles, and William Daniels is the voice of KITT, and it also features the return of Bonnie Barstow, Patricia McPherson. The plot of this one, it's so dumb. It's just so dumb.
It's not dumb as it is. Okay, why are we doing the two plot thing again?
Yeah. I want to see.
Here's a question: who played Margot?
Barbara Stock.
Okay, I don't remember her in anything else.
I don't remember seeing her past this episode. I'll tell you that.
That's what I mean. I don't remember her name in anything like previous or even after Knight Rider, like you said. So.
Yeah. But no, like I said, the basic gist of this is that David Halston, played by Jared Martin, is a quote-unquote scientist who essentially didn't get credit for his work, and the government took it away from him, and now he's trying to get it back, but he has to get these two other guys, Peter Fong and C.J. Jackson, to be his henchmen, I guess you could say, to dig out the tunnel underneath the Golden Fox Club. I will say one thing about this episode's plot. I do like how they are giving us more information on the history of the Foundation, because C.J. Jackson was the guy who killed the first Knight driver.
Right, because it was before Michael.
Right.
Before he, before he was introduced to KITT.
Mm-hmm. Because Wilton shut the program down after that, and didn't reactivate it until they found Michael.
Right.
Okay, Barbara Stock, just to give you some background information here. She has not done anything since 2001. The last thing we would know her as, or know her in, would be she was in an episode of Charmed on the WB.
Ah.
Very interesting, though. She was Dr. Myers in one episode of 1997 of Baywatch.
You know what? I
Yeah.
remember that now.
So there you go.
Thank you, David, for bringing her back.
Yes, exactly. Overall, I like the plot. I like the kind of mystery of it. I like, Michael's like, KITT, there's no one inside here. Well, a car just doesn't drive itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I like that for the overall plot and everything else, and it's not as half-brain. This plot to me, this whole two-parter to me is kind of like they basically took Goliath Returns and switched out characters, and like I swear, Margot is not necessarily a carbon copy of Adrian, but she's like that similar type of woman character.
Yeah.
She's in charge and blah 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 and all this and all that. So, you have any thoughts on the plot?
Plot's good. It does have a lot of action in it, which is quite nice. We're not bored with it. I do like the fact. I do like the fact that it's kind of the woman. It's the woman being the villain. Kind of like Soul Survivor was. This is also the first time. Well, no, I was going to say this is also the first time we get to see KITT rebuilt, but no, not from a vantage point. It's almost like he's being built from scratch again. He gets.
Well, yeah. Bonnie says that his systems are all screwed up, and she's gonna have to But it was more so kind of. God, I can't believe I'm making this analogy. It's almost like a doctor having to stop someone from internally bleeding, is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Where there's no like, okay, sure, KITT was, kind of. He's got some dents on the outside, but it's more so the insides that are hurting. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the way I see it. Junkyard is really the first time where we actually see him. We'll get to that later here in season 3. Junkyard Dog is the first time where he actually has to be rebuilt.
Yeah, the outside as well as the inside.
Right. I mean, yes, technically, Michael repaired him back in Goliath, but that wasn't like dropping him in a vat of acid.
No.
And melting his face off and turning him into... Oh, wait, wrong thing. Wrong character.
Wrong.
Whoops. All right, so let's get to this game.
Well, pal, it's off to the briny deep. Following the North Star, sailing o'er the waves.
Really, Michael, I'm getting seasick just listening to you.
Oh, no. What does he want? I told you I might need a first mate.
As long as it's not another assignment.
My word on it.
Glad to have you aboard.
Thank you.
How about a second mate?
Well, you can sail with me anytime.
For the entire cruise?
No kidding?
No kidding.
Welcome back. That's terrific.
Lead the way, Captain.
All right. It's on slip number 3.
I can't look.
I don't think I've ever seen a prison break out the front door.
I haven't either.
That was a little strange. Of course, I know CJ did not knock the guard out and get his keys, but I don't think I've ever seen in any television or movie a prisoner break out of just run out the front door. Never seen that in my life. KITT a la fresco melt. Because they're in San Francisco. I like it when KITT's in major cities, and it's really cool seeing him in the backdrop of like San Francisco, or when we get to season 4, Chicago and stuff. I like that. That's cool. Passive laser restraint system. Come on, kid. Just say seatbelt.
I know. What are you gonna do?
Boy, am I glad boomboxes are out of style now. That was just creepy.
A robotic boombox that explodes.
Yeah. I really love the ski mode to destroy the 2 cars. That was awesome.
Yeah.
What about you?
I liked the scene there at the restaurant there.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously David's standing there talking to the owner. I want to talk to you about the fire that happened. And the owner's like, get him. And they're fighting David. And then of course he asks for KITT to the rescue, and you see eventually, KITT's talking to them in English.
Yes.
And KITT's talking to them in English, and David's like, I don't think they understand the language. And he says
he starts talking
to in Japanese, and then you see the two guys fighting, hitting the car.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome.
The other thing I liked was that Bonnie, when we see KITT destroyed, obviously we don't like to see KITT destroyed, but what I do like is the fact that she says, well, I'm going to make you as good as new, and then she says, no, I'm going to make you better.
Better, yeah.
I liked that. So even though KITT was destroyed, she made him just as tough, just about.
Yeah.
And that was a good thing. And I also liked the ending of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
When David is talking to Margot, and Margot is saying, lying is not one of your many talents. And, David's saying, well, don't look behind you, but my partner's there. And, KITT's like, good idea.
Yeah.
And then you see, they talk and whatnot. And David's like, okay, I warned you. And he's like, KITT, she's all yours. And then he turns on his synthesizer, to project his voice projection. And
right.
KITT says, put down the gun, Margot. And she looks behind her to see where the voice came from. And I was like, surprise!
And then they both fall in the water.
Yeah, I was like, surprise! So, and there was one other scene I liked because it was funny. Mm-hmm. And to me, it was funny. And it was when KITT pops out the induction coil, puts it on the metal gate.
Yeah, to electrocute them.
Yeah, I just found that funny. That scene was just hilarious to me.
Yeah, that was a really funny scene. Because he's like, Clifton, what are you doing? Is that some kind of new break dance?
Yeah.
That's funny.
That was great.
All right.
Those are my favorite moments in that episode. But overall, I guess, and we'll get to this in Scanners Off. So the plot is good. The surface plot is good, but I've got some more to say about the plot when we get to Scanners Off. So.
All right, let's get there then. All right, it's time to turn the scanners off. The only note I wrote down was whiny bitch Halston. What about you? What didn't you like about this one?
The only one I wrote down was double plot again. Haven't we seen this before?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I don't mind it so much this time because it's not your average characters. It is character types like Garth. Halston is nowhere near Garth, but you know what I mean. Like, it's that same male-female team-up villain thing where the female thinks she's more powerful than the male and this, that, and the other thing, which in this case Margot kind of was. you know, so I like that about it, but yeah, I can kind of see that. At least it's not your average run-of-the-mill corrupt sheriff episode.
Thank God.
So I think we are going to move on.
I see you've had extensive plastic surgery before. Any particular reason?
My face became too popular with the cops. Welcome to Napa, KITT, where wine is king. I was hoping you might have seen something. I mean, anything.
The thing I remember about this morning is that I was scared to death.
I want those diamonds. Very good. Now how about a glass of Chateau Neuf? What? You heard me.
Hey, what are you doing in Napa?
Well, I could ask you the same thing.
It's a longer jump than you think, Michael.
You had to tell me that, huh?
Up next is the Ice Bandits. Michael trails diamond thieves to the wine country of Northern California, where the crooks are using a monastery as a front. This was an episode I always remembered as a kid. This was an episode I always liked to watch as a kid. The whole mystery of, oh, where did Brother Giuliano go? And, oh, why is... First of all, outside of the fact that it's just, if you think of it as just a regular diamond robbery, why are these guys stealing diamonds in the first place? And then why are they taking them up to wine country just to pay a doctor to have them changed? It doesn't seem like... This plot doesn't seem like... Okay, you take a guy... He steals some diamonds. Because he stole the diamonds, he has to get a new face, new identity, whatever else. Well, he's going to pay the doctor with the diamonds that I don't know, it makes no damn sense to me. I like the episode. I'm not saying it's a bad episode. What I'm saying is the
plot is kind of, it doesn't make any sense because you've got two diamond thieves. And then, well, what doesn't make any sense is, well, it does to a point, it does not to a point, but you're going to try to kill your partner who helped you steal these diamonds.
Well, it's the whole thing of whoever is left standing alive gets the biggest cut.
Right. And I mean, that's fine, but the guy that, then, well, you've got three crooks, because remember later in the episode you get a guy that breaks into Jody's house. Well, he doesn't break in, but he knocks on the door. He scares Jody and says, "I want those diamonds. I'm going to, and she says, "What diamonds?" And he says, "The diamonds that I'm going to retire on," because he's seen her wear those diamonds.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's later in the episode.
That was just like a little subplot. That wasn't.
Yeah. And I knew it was a subplot, but I'm just bringing it up there. I'm just putting it in there because that was kind of part of the episode.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm not really sure where to put this episode. I can't say it's a bad one like you, but I can't say that it was a great one either. So I guess I'll just put it in the it's okay category.
All right. Well, let's get to the scanners then.
Oh!
Looks like you could use some help, huh?
Oh, yes. We were delivering some food and clothing to the poor when, I'm afraid we strayed a bit too far from the straight and narrow. Oh, I'm Brother Francis.
Name's Michael Knight.
And that's Brother Tyrone.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
You'll have to forgive Brother Tyrone. He's taken a vow of silence. Unfortunately, he was never able to work without talking.
Yeah, I know how that is.
And that's KITT.
How did you know that?
Oh, but I named him when he was just a little ass.
I beg your pardon.
Let's turn these scanners on. Really what I like this episode is for the comedy. Poor Michael Knight, victim of the work ethic and prince of the powerless.
And the fact that Michael responds, "I wouldn't go that far." And KITT's like, "Neither would I." And it's like, who asked you?
Yeah, that's why I like the episode. It has nothing to do with the plot that I like it. It's the fact of all the comedy that's in it.
Right.
And that's KITT. I named him when he was just a little ass.
How did you know that?
Yeah. It's so funny.
KITT the donkey and KITT the car.
Yeah, I'll take the car. I'll take the car over the dumbass.
I will too.
Yeah. What did you like about this one?
Like you said, the comedy. I liked the comedy. We had action, but I don't think there was as much. And I in season 3, in some of these episodes, I'm sure we'll get to a lot of these. I know we'll get to a lot of these, but it seems like they were all, in some of them, not all, but in some of them, there seemed to be a double plot going on, and I don't know why. But the comedy was what I liked, and the fact that KITT reminds Michael when they're chasing the guys on the motorcycle, unless you plan on changing my design and yours, there's no way that I can absolutely squeeze into that pipe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's funny. Yeah, that kind of comedy, the comedy between Michael and KITT and Michael and the people around him, that's really what made the episode. The plot was almost secondary, I would say.
Yeah, it was. I agree there, because you can still you can take the comedy away, but I think you could also take the plot and dissect it if you wanted to. The problem where I see that laying is if you took the comedy away from the story itself, it would be a boring episode to watch.
Yep. And it wasn't at all boring, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm being negative here at all. It was a great episode. It was just the plot was too contrived because, like I said, I mean, well, I don't know. I'll get to it in scanners off. All right, turning the scanners off. The thing that like I was starting to mention a second ago, with the plot, it's so contrived. Like, you steal something. Because you've stolen something, you now have to go to a doctor to have your face reconstructed so people don't know who you are. And even then, Michael, as soon as he saw Charlie, he knew who he was. Plus, everybody kept calling him fucking Charlie.
Right.
What the hell? I don't know. What don't you like about this one?
The plot was too easy to figure out.
Yeah.
It really was. The plot was too easy to figure out, and just there weren't that many holes in it, but you could kind of maybe sit within, say, 10 minutes and go, okay, this is probably going to happen, and if I turn back, some of it will have already happened, so I don't need to watch this.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. That just sums it up quite nicely.
Stacy's in a coma. There's a good chance she may not come out of it.
You wouldn't listen to me, would you? You just cost me my #1 suspect.
Are you saying being a cheerleader had something to do with this?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You want to race? You got one. Your car or mine?
Michael, how could you have done this?
Bonnie, it was the only way.
Losing him in a race?
Michael, his fuel tank's ruptured.
I gotta get him out, kid.
That nitro could blow any second.
And finally up today, we are the Knights in the Fast Lane or Knights of the Fast Lane. I don't know. There's two different whatever. Anyway, Michael hopes to flesh out a futuristic sports car by challenging its murderous owner, played by Alan Feinstein, to a street race with KITT as the prize. I don't know. This episode, it's not a bad episode. It was cool. It was interesting. It was kind of like a whodunit type of thing. But the dude is a coach or a sports director or
he's an owner. He's the owner of the LA Cougars in this one, and
okay. Owner of the team.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that the owner of the team has to go out street racing and killing people. Nice. The only reason why this would not get a extremely low mark from me when we go to rate them at the end of the show,
right,
is that it pays homage to, again, more of Michael's past.
It does. It does. We do see one of the people that Michael Long used to work with. Yeah. And like you said, it's kind of a tribute to his past, and You see Michael kind of get curious about somebody he knew from a long time ago, and this isn't the first time we've seen that.
Right. And plus, specifically to his policeman background, this isn't the first time we saw it. It was Nightmares, because he went back to his old precinct, and then I forget if it was the desk sergeant or the captain or whoever who had called Devin.
It was the sergeant.
It was somebody. I forget. That was like a season or two ago or something like that. All right, so Nights in the Fast Lane. Any other thoughts on the plot?
We're getting back to the action. That is nice to see. It's not it is not edge on your seat action, but they're trying their best. I think that I really think that Michael's past in this one kind of takes a lot of the cake. When they look at it, when you see a lot of what's going on between Jim Courtney and Michael Knight.
Right, yeah. What I am glad about this plot is that they didn't try to give him, okay, we all know, or at least most of us know, Stevie is the love of his life.
Right.
Because I haven't, a lot of these episodes, like, outside of my favorite, like, the episodes I always watch, like, Night of the Phoenix, all those episodes we've already talked about that I love, the ones that I really love and can watch anytime, I haven't seen a lot of these in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And with this one, I was like, wait, don't tell me he has another long-lost love. Because when he saw a picture in the paper, he's like, Stacy? And I'm like, no, don't do the love story. And I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad that they tied it in another way to his past of Jim Courtney was his old mentor / partner, and Stacy is that guy's daughter. So I like that they did that. I thought that was great with the plot instead of trying to create multiple love stories.
Yeah, because that would have ruined it.
Pretty much, yeah.
That really would have. That would have ruined it.
Buddy, I'm starting to worry about Jim. He's wound pretty tight.
So I see. But you might consider worrying a bit about Devin. You haven't asked him for the race money yet.
You got any strategy, pal?
How about the quarterback sneak?
All right. Get me Devin. Hello, Devin.
Hello, Michael.
Are you sitting down?
How much do you want?
$50,000.
Now I'm sitting down.
So let's turn these scanners on. As we've already kind of talked about, I had written down the scanners on. I do like how we're seeing more stuff from Michael's past. I like that. And what I thought was even cooler was that Jim gave him Michael Long's old badge. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thought that was really cool. So it's kind of like, wait, does Jim know? Because Jim kind of got the feeling of, oh, well, you kind of remind me of my old partner or whatever. So again, it's kind of like the whole thing with, Stevie at the end of Whitebird was, does she know? Did she know? Which obviously she did.
Yeah.
But what'd you like about this one?
I liked the ending. I did like, when Jim Courtney gives the badge to him. I think that Jim kind of knew. He figured it out near the end, maybe.
Right, yeah.
I did like that. Also, even though KITT was sort of shut down, they started working together. Jim and Michael started working together, and near the end of that. And the other thing I liked was, they both. The other thing I liked was Mark and Michael seemed to be in each other's faces all the time.
Yeah.
I liked that. To see who was tougher, to see who would crack first. Michael trying to get Mark to crack, Mark trying to get Michael to crack.
Yeah. What I like about it is just Bonnie's reaction to the plan. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? You shut him down?
Yeah. And, Devin's agreeing with her. Really, Michael, you overstepped your boundaries. And, Michael explaining, look, I shut everything down except the homing signal, so that way we could figure out where Taylor is keeping the Dagger DX. And, Bonnie's getting upset with him. And eventually Devin's like, okay, let's all calm down.
Right, but I like that. I like that Michael is like... We all know Michael Knight can come up with plans and stuff. We've seen it in 2 seasons already. But I like that for this one, he also is thinking slightly outside the box. And apparently the Comlink watch can reactivate KITT at any moment in time.
Which is kind of cool.
It's cool, but at the same time, it's a little questionable there. But,
well, maybe that was just something they decided to throw in. I don't know. I mean... That would have been nice to see, say, in season 2, maybe a new feature put on there, to reactivate KITT like that. Because you, of course, remember in A Good Night's Work when he had that neck device.
Yeah.
That would reactivate KITT. So maybe they took that idea from there. It's a very possible, it's possible.
All right, let's turn the scanners off. When I was watching this, I didn't write anything down. Like, there wasn't anything that stuck out at me like, oh my god, this is so fucking stupid.
Me neither.
I mean, I really enjoy this episode. I think it's a really good episode, even though it's like, oh, a sports team owner. Yay. But I mean, like, the overall plot, it was well thought out, it was well written, it was... well conceived and all that good stuff, and I didn't
have anything that jumped out at me like you said, so it was like, okay, we're getting back, they're redeeming themselves, they're redeeming themselves slowly.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There you go.
All right, so we're gonna head to a quick ad break, and we'll come back on the other side to close the show.
Kid? Yes. Shut up.
Movie Week in Review is the Geekcast Radio Network's weekly movie podcast. Steve and Mike take a look back on their favorite films and give you their thoughts. They also bring in co-hosts at times. If you are a movie buff, listen to M-Wire only on GeekCastRadio.com.
You can now hear the Geekcast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear Geekcast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code box and enter Geekcast Radio, all one word, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code Geekcast Radio when you register.
Do you like retro shows? Did you grow up in either the 80s or the 90s? Then tune into Telecast, GeekCastRadio.com's newest podcast. Join us here on the Telecast as we revisit some of your favorite shows, such as Clarissa Explains It All, Salute Your Shorts, Saved by the Bell, and much, much more, only on GeekCastRadio.com.
Kid?
Yes, Michael.
Just keep driving.
You the listeners of Beyond the Night, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Use audibletrial.com/geekcastradio. All right, so these 3 episodes this week, what do you rank Night of the Drones 2-parter?
Night of the Drones 2-parter. I have to give this one a 5.
I'm going to give it a 4.
Really?
Yeah, it's not that I dislike it overall. It's more so the lackluster, like, oh, that's the plot. That's what the guy's after. Like, even if they were after the, like, okay.
I mean, there's 2 rankings I give it. Like, I give it a 5 because, I give it a 5 because it does kind of deal with the Foundation's past, per se. But I would give it a 4.5 because of the two plot, like the double plot thing again, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm just gonna give it a straight 4. I mean, I like it. I think it's great. I think it's great that we finally see Bonnie back and all that stuff. But I'm just gonna give it a 4.
Yeah.
What about Ice Bandits? What do you give that one?
Ice Bandits. I got to give that one a 3. And the only reason there's, well, okay, thieves are stealing diamonds, and then you're going to go to California to get another identity because you stole the diamonds, and you're going to try.
Well, they're already in California.
Well,
they just
what I'm saying is you're going to another part of California to get a new identity, and you're using a wine monastery for. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna give that one a 4. I like it. I like I like all the comedy in it. That's what makes the episode for me. Just the whole plot of, I need to rob this so I can pay for this, and I actually make no money in the end. That's why I take 1 point off for it. So, What about Knights of the Fast Lane? What do you give that one?
I have to give it a 5 because they are trying to redeem themselves in the action department. And there was something else that I did not mention in Scanners On. I liked the very end when KITT plays football.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to mention that because, you see Devin and Bonnie just standing there like, okay, what are you? No, you're not. No, they have this look of amazement like, oh my God, don't do what I think you're doing. And you see in the freeze frame shot, KITT turbo boosting through the goalposts.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. So
Extra points.
Yeah, I have to, and they freeze frame on that shot. So I have to give it a 5 on that one for that.
Yeah, same here. Knights of the Fast Lane gets a 5 as well. So it's very awesome. It was like I said before, it was well written. It was a plot that kept you thinking and kept you going. It was, like you said, it was Michael getting into Mark's face and vice versa. So I give it a 5 as well.
The other thing I like too, and we mentioned this before too, we actually see one more time a little bit of Michael's past, Michael Long's past.
Right.
So that was very good, and that was very well done.
Yep. All right. You want to tell the people of your other stuff that you got going on?
Well, just besides the fact that I've now pissed TFG1 Mike off with an.
No, I'm not pissed off. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, I'll get to that in a second if you'd shut up and let me talk. Besides the fact that I've pissed Mike off with the accidental oops of TKR, which I thought was funny, you can and I don't care if he edits that out or not.
Why? The 90s have to give us such crap TV shows.
You can catch me on sky106.net, www.sky106.net. Just, listen to not only me, but check out the other shows on the network, folks. We have some great shows for you to check out. You can follow us on Twitter. You can add us to MSN Messenger, and you can send us feedback, give us ideas for shows if you want to hear them. I will definitely mention Geekcast Radio more and more. I just haven't recently because, of course, I've been recovering from the flu, and we all know how that's been. But the website, again, is www.sky106.net. You can follow us on Twitter and send us feedback over there. Check out the schedule. Find out when I'm on, but not just me. Find out when all your other great friends that you may have met in the Twitter universe are on. And get to know us, folks. We would really appreciate some support. So if you like family radio, even if the show may be adult content, because some of those shows are, you can check us out.
Okay, I can see the air quotes now. Family radio. There's no such thing anymore.
No, there isn't. But it's actually kind of interesting because it kind of goes back and forth. Some of the shows that we do are family oriented, and some of them aren't. So it really kind of depends on what your tastes are. But there you go.
Yes. All right. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Night. There are several ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on each and every episode post. Email us, feedback@geekcastradio.com. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Still working on that. I'll get to that in a little bit, I guess. Follow us on
where have I
Twitter.
heard that before?
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Follow us on Twitter. @Beyond the Night is the show Twitter. Mine is @TFG1Mike. Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/GeekCastRadio Network. Call the voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving the message for and your name. 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Night and wish you'll join us next time when we'll be reviewing 3 more episodes from Knight Rider Classic Season 3, those being Halloween Night. Oh, God. Halloween Night. Oh, I hate that episode.
Oh, we're going to have fun with that one, folks.
KITT vs. Car and the Rotten Apples. For now, I am TFG and Mike with
the Music Man 08 Dion.
KITT, close the show.
I also painted one of KITT.
Jody, you shouldn't have. Although I have been told I have nice lines.
Why don't you show KITT?
On second thought, Devon, maybe some wine is exactly what I need. And Michael, keep that thing away from me.
Crusader in a dangerous world, the world of the Knight Rider.